name is Teacher Rachel. I'm an English lecturer here at Acleda Institute of Business, also known as AIB. At AIB, the Department of Foreign Language, we have programs to offer for the students which they can choose what they want to learn or study, like the GCP or the General Chinese Program, the GEP or the General English Program, the ESP or the English for Specific Purposes, and also English majors. And now, AIB is offering English for Young Learners Program or the YLP.
Okay, once again, I want to welcome all of you to this edition of our debate in Level 6C here at Acleda Institute of Business. And we have 8 contestants. In Group 1, we have Mr. Seng Sakda and Ms. Prom Soria. They are in Group 1. And they will be talking to us on the topic which states that girls face more peer pressure than boys. Girls face more peer pressure than boys. And Sang Sakda and Prom Soria will be speaking for. And they will be competing against Sandos Chantu and Futi. Chandos Fantu in Group 2 will be talking on the topic girls face more peer pressure than boys, but in this case, they will be against. They will be against. In other words, they will be telling us that actually boys face more pressure than girls. So I would like to invite the first speaker of Group 1, Mr. Seng Sakda. Note that you have only 3 minutes to make your presentation, and after which the first speaker for Group 2 will come to make his or her defense. So over to you, Sakda. Please turn on your camera and make your speech.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. It is a pleasure to be here talking about girls face more peer pressure than boys. To all of you, I hope you're having a wonderful time. I'd like to say that boys and girls all face the same stress and peer pressure from society, all the same, but girls face more than what we could imagine. And I've prepared 5 points to prove to you that it is indeed that girls face more pressure than boys. For number 1, being put together. Point 2, dress code. Point 3, multi-skilled. Point 4, proper, always. And point 5, happy. I'd like to get into further details into each point. For point number 1, being put together, what does it mean? Well, basically, most girls are expected to be well-dressed and put together. This means less baggy clothes and more fitting clothes. Their hair needs to look nice, and their makeup must look refreshed and awake. And every morning they need to look pretty so that when others see it, they will think that they have a lot of time in the morning, except they don't. Some might even say that girls need to look pretty even they first wake up. For point 2, dress codes. Many of us have seen the news about school dress codes, especially about girls. Girls are being told to not wear to wear skirts that show their bra straps or shoulders because it is distracting to boys. And these points are so wrong on so many levels. First of all, it should be equally acceptable for girls to wear tank tops if guys can too. Second, it teaches them that their bodies are sexualized. This kind of thinking is twisted and unfair to girls. For point 3, multi-skilled. Even hundreds of years ago, this was an expectation. girls were supposed to know how to cook, clean, play a musical instrument, and sing. The list goes on, and even today it still feels like that is the same for the girls at modern time. For point four, proper always. For what does proper always means? It means they gotta stay proper at any time, anywhere. So I got a question. Like, have you ever seen a guy burp and no one say anything, but then a girl burps and people say ew? Why is that? Well, girls are always expected to be proper and have manners. The same goes with girls versus guys having dated many people. In general, it is not that looked down upon if a guy has had many girlfriends, but if a girl has had many boyfriends, many people would call her derogatory terms. 5. Happy. So, for girls to have your life and to be considered normal and your life to put together, you usually need to put a smile on your face or have a smile on your face. At least that's what the society tells them. People think it's strange when you aren't smiling, and if you're not smiling, people usually ask, "Are you okay?" or "What's wrong?" But further than that, but what if nothing is wrong, and what if everything are entirely what if like the girls are entirely content? So for the girls to not be completely happy and okay, if okay, that shall be my opening act. Thank you guys again for listening.
Thank you very much, Seng Sagda, for your wonderful debate, telling us why you think girls face more more pressure from their peers than the boys. Okay, we will now turn the attention now to the first speaker of Group 2, talking about Sandos Chantu, who is going to tell us that no, boys face more pressure than boys. Chantu, over to you.
So first of all, I would like to say good evening to teacher Getafui and to the other who participated here. So I came here to talk about the same topic as Acleda that just talked at the moment. So I partly agree with that, but as I also saw in many studies show this that 32% of girls feel pressure about their body image versus 19% of boys feeling pressure. Also, 24% of girls versus 17% of boys feel peer pressure to do better in tests and school. But even though the studies show that girls face more peer pressure than boys, I don't think I agree with the research as what I see in the real society nowadays. So there is no way girls experience more peer pressure than boys. They do experience some, but not on the level of boys. Boys are pressured into fighting just to be cool, being bullied to the point where they sometimes have to join gangs just to be cool with someone. Boys can sometimes be pressured to shoot guns, do major stunts, harm themselves or others, etc. Boys are culturally conditioned to torture each other until they become tough enough to become the type of tough guy nobody will think to mess with. And are not only pressured emotionally like women are, but pressured physically as well, unlike women. It's a night and the day different. So when you look at how dumb certain guys are for doing done-head things, joining gangs or doing some other crazy stuff that you, if you are a woman, would never imagine doing, then understand it's because you have the cultural luxury of not being pressured into such things. Girls are mostly pressured to look cute and be feminine, which doesn't require that much in comparison. Boys are pressured to actually do a lot of things or else becomes a target for being weak and not manly enough. It's a necessity for it to be like this because men ultimately have to become strong protectors and emotional steady rocks for a woman and his family. He can't afford to be weak because that literally puts himself and his family in danger if he is. But at the same time, he has to practice enough self control not to get himself in trouble. Now, don't get me wrong, you won't see every guy live up to these ideas, but if they are too far off the mark of hitting these ideas, then there's a good chance neither you or other men respect him that much. And I don't just mean a nice guys necessarily. There's difference between a nice guys and a weak guys. A nice guy can actually be a very tough savage type of guy that just so happens to know how to be gentle and polite enough to display good manners and etiquette. But make no mistake that he is not weak because of this. He can get going at any second if he has to, and you know this about him. A weak guy is exactly how it sounds. You can walk over him. He doesn't stand up for himself or anyone else, and you don't respect him because of it. So don't get too confused. So this is what I think of this, and I don't think I agree with Sakada. And that's all for what I think. Thank you, teacher, and everyone. Thanks for your listening.
Thank you very much, Chantu, Sandos, for your defense that the boys actually have more pressure than the girls. Well, this debate is getting more and more interesting, and I'm sure the audience who are listening to these debates are yet to make up their mind as to what exactly or which is the correct one. So we would like to call the second speaker for group one. She has just 2 minutes to be able to support his colleague, Sang Sagda, and to counter whatever his opponent, Sandos Chantu, may have said. So we would like to invite Prom Soria to the floor. Prom Soria, over to you.
Yes, good evening, teacher, and good evening, everyone. Let me tell you, if I'm far how my presume about gender are put under, yet with scrutiny and plasmody of the unnecessary presume and put on our content part. A girl is expected to have a anti-crush. She should be put together and be kind. Our security our scientists tell girls that they need and want to have children, and the uh, responsibility um, that come with a kid should be us around outright and important. As a girl, you are underestimate constantly. No one believe you you can truly succeed in your own without having to influence someone people. But the fact that no one believe you can succeed is not as bad as everyone decide for you to fail. That right, many want you to fail as a girl. Girl is discredited a lot or have a lot of expect from them. Yet, ironically, imposing to look down on successful and career-oriented girls. They are obviously under pressure with the burden or both in family or and their society. I don't believe it as simple as more or less. However, girl beauty and standard are higher. Boys are told not to cry and there is the stigma around their mental health. Girls are targeted by more expensive products than boys. Girls face the misogyny and the world in those it in. We live in a hierarchy. With a historical girls have been marginalized and oppressed, excluding. I believe overall life and often is hard for both gender and girl suffer more from society and the way it influences and cultures. Some girls give into peer pressure because they want to be like or they think it help them fit in. Some worry that other kids might test them if they don't go along with the group. Others go along because they are curious. Maybe they want to try something that other are doing. Peer pressure come in many forms, and this type of peer pressure can have a profound effect on a girl. This is when a girl are making new friends and choosing their identity. Girls are more likely to trust friends and experiment with alcohol, drugs, sexual and activity, and other risky of behavior. Often the urge to engage inside behavior is the result for us negative peer pressure. In particular, girls are more and more sexually pursued, afraid of being abused by bad people with loss. Even even kids. If a girl goes somewhere alone or goes to a quiet place, it can be very risky to meet those psychotic people. As in a real society, there is always information about bad guy abusing and many girls and killing them in a brutal way. The rape did not kill girls, make up terror. Red clothes source are often stigmatized by both boy and girl. As you know, today's society, whether on off social media, put a lot of pressure on beauty, especially girls, who often criticize this person for having a bad face, only hair and inappropriate uh, inappropriate makeup and talk from her to hot girl emotionally. Before ending the group, I would like to emphasize that girls fight more pressure than boys is real. As some about girls may be under pressure from friends, family, and society. Thank you, teacher, and thank you for everyone for listening.
Well, thank you very much, Prom Soria, for your support of your chief speaker. Interesting. Okay, we will now go over to the second speaker, UVT, for Group 2 to support the motion of his chief speaker, Shantu. Please take note. Second speaker, you have only 2 minutes. You have only 2 minutes, so we are going to time you. If you exceed more than 2 minutes, I'm going to stop you. So please make sure you summarize your defense in 2 minutes. Over to you, UVT.
Hello, teacher. Hello, everyone. Uh, I I support my team because I agree with my team uh, because the boy is don't have more any experience for the girl because the girl can do because the girl have more experience in a high level of boy. Boy are pressure to do school for look the cool It's being building the point when there is something hell to join the gang. But the girl don't like the boy be with gang, and the girl always had the boy join the gang or to do bad on the girl. That's all here.
Okay. Okay. Good. Well, thank you very much, Vuti, for your presentation. So once again, we are going to go back to the first speaker. If you have anything to add based on what you have heard from your opponents, you can now top up what you want to say. So we will call on Sangsagda for Group 1. Once again, you have just 2 minutes to justify yourself or to change your mind if you want to do.
Yes, thank you, teacher. I would like to add a few more things. From what I've heard from group 2, they said that boys are more pressured into being cool, acting tough, and being well educated. And some might go into a far level, such as going into a gang, drugs, and doing some outrageous activity and stuff. But from what I've heard, it seems that girls are being forced to do the same thing, and boys' standard is the same as the girls' standard. They are required by society to look perfect as they can, to act cool, to act pretty, to be smart, and not make yourself feel weak or dumb. But in my defense, in my defense, girls girls has uh, a small body structure to those. And if you say that boys are being forced into going into gangs, drugs, and other activity, girls are being forced to do the same thing. But what more dangerous between those two are the girls, because girls, their health and their body structure, their small body cannot handle uh, the extreme destruction of those activity, just like sexual activity, drugs, and some harmful uh, kind of activity that can affect the girls as well. And girls, they are required to be well educated as well, and both in their studies and how they look. For their studies, they are expected to succeed. Some expected to succeed. I mean, some expected them to succeed, but at the same time, it is way worse than what they want them to fail as well. Because even if the girls succeed in their career and their goal, people will not believe that you succeed because you are a girl. Because in the past, girls are being placed in such a low place that you cannot comprehend. Boys have the privilege. Even if you, even if boys speak their mind, they will be appreciated. But if girls if girls do the same thing as the guys, they will be rejected as well. And from my experience, even though I'm not a boy, even though I'm not a girl, I have a little sister. Even though she's at a young age, from the family, she already uh, expected from the family a lot to be the good girl, to do good in her studies, and to look good for the family reputation. And that is a lot for me. At least one of them is a lot for me to handle, but she is expected from them to do a lot of it. So that's why I have a huge respect for the girls, and this is what I want to say. in defense of my team one, group one. That's his thought. Thank you, teacher.
Good. Thank you very much for adding more points to defend. I mean, to support your point that girls face more pressure from peers than the boys. Okay, we'll turn the time again once again to add more, or maybe she wants to agree totally with group one. So Sandos Chantu, the floor is yours.
So I also have something to add more, just little thing to add more to support my topic that have that say again from Acleda. So as I think that boys face peer pressure, face more peer pressure than girls because I think that because boys often have to prove that they are manly, whereas girls do not have to prove that they are womanly. It's related to toxic things. So, as Acleda said that women have to they got the pressure that they have to dress beautifully when they go outside, something like that. If they don't dress beautifully or nicely and then they go outside, some people might say something about them on them, like how they wear, like that. Also I think men also have pressure on that because like when they go outside, like for example, like when they have the plan to go on a date, they also have to to dress themselves nicely. If they don't think of dress themselves nicely and they go to meet their girl, they have pressure on that because they don't feel secure when they wear not when they dress not nice and they go out. Like they also have pressure on that, like the girl. And also for the Acleda said that the women have to be happy on their face. If not so, other people might ask them, "Are you okay? What happened?" Something like that. What's wrong? But what if nothing is wrong? Something like that. Also, as the men also face that, if they will face the same thing. People might ask them, "Are you okay? What's wrong? What happened to you?" Something like that. Just like the girls, people might ask them the same question. So I have something just like that to add more to support my topic, and that's all for my idea to defend. That's all, teacher. Thank you, everyone. Thanks for listening.
Good. Thank you very much, Santu, for adding more spice to your points. Once again, trying to convince us that actually boys have more pressure than girls. Well, listeners, I'm sure you have really enjoyed this presentation from Group 1 and Group 2. I want to say good congratulations and many thanks to Seng Sagda and Prom Soria for their points. And also want to say thank you to Sandos Chantu and you, Vuti, for being part of the programs. This program will still continue after a short break where we will invite the participants in Group 3 and Group 4 to come head to head and make their presentation. We'll take a short break, and when we come back, we will continue with this debate. Thank you very much.
This program is specifically designed for young students from 12 years to 16 years of age. The program provides an integrated English curriculum, helps learners communicate effectively, improve English skills, and develop their confidence. There is a pathway in the program that when young learners successfully finish the YLP Level 1 to 14, they are automatically admitted to the General English Program or the GEP. And finally, to be eligible to take IELTS tests at AIB to prove their English proficiency globally, this program reflects young students' own lives, personal interests, and studies, making it the most accessible and relevant program available to young learners in Cambodia today. AIB's young learners are encouraged to think creatively and critically. The learners encouraged in many interesting ways through group work, question and answers, research project, presentations, puzzles, songs, and other learning activities, including educational games to develop their own skills. We provided the right preparation and structure for the program. We now encourage and invite young students to our new program, the Young Learners Program, here at AIB to experience a wide range of English language skills. Young learners and soon-to-be AIB students, welcome to AIB.